Of course, construction work is far too complex to ever be fully automated, but maybe the construction workers can get an upgrade. For example, oftentimes they report pain after long hours working on overhead objects, keeping their arms up. In this case, an exoskeleton can come in handy. Sure, the looks might provoke some banter on the site, but the benefits will quickly catch on. The extra support during piping, work on sprinklers or cables delays the usual fatigue. Interestingly, the construction does not need electricity. This exoskeleton is completely passive. However, if you're thinking of getting one just for you around the house, a glance at the price might make you reconsider. This model starts at $750. Arguably more complicated than Lego, the blocks from ISOTEX might still scratch the same spot. Watching bricklayers handle them can get quite satisfying. But why are construction companies reaching for them anyway? Aren't regular bricks enough? Well, one advantage is the quick work. If you believe the website, using these blocks halves the construction time of the structure. Another point might be the new methods they allow. Take, for example, the so-called air block. Instead of creating ventilated walls and several complicated steps, regular construction workers can now just lay the bricks and create the intended effect in one step. Matter of fact, the company just recently won an award in Dubai, proclaiming it as the best building system of 2023, speaking for its place as industry leader in the wood cement sector. To save time during formwork, some very smart people came up with self-climbing systems. A great idea. After all, building the formwork, pouring the concrete, stripping it again and climbing takes a lot of time, and cranes have to be used. Instead, a system like the ATR from ULMA promises to be crane-free and much quicker than the traditional method. It works like this. After a bit of a setup, the concrete can be poured, and after some time the system can be elevated thanks to hydraulics. And as the building gets higher, more and more rails can be erected. The ATR is intended for platforms, bridges, or classical buildings, although it also works with more complicated architecture. Now, if only there was a way of convincing architects to make high-rise buildings that are actually nice to look at. Operating cranes is such a significant part of setting up a wind power plant that imagining a site without one is close to impossible. So, what industry is better suited to innovate cranes than wind power? Some years ago, Lagerwey introduced a climbing model into the process. The setup gets complicated quickly, but the main idea is simple. The crane has 2 points which can attach to the structure, and they both can move up and down along rails. While one of them stays fixed, the other one is free to move and reattach at a higher position. And additionally, there are 4 arms that distribute the weight. In 2018, Lagerwey became part of ENERCON, a large German wind turbine manufacturer, where they continue to innovate the process. Here's one thing no house owner ever wants to see: a leaky basement. The worst-case scenario is removing the foundation and laying drain tiles to direct any water away from the house. But either way, the fix needs to be on the outside, and it will cost some. So how about some preventative action when first building it? Specialized companies can assist here, although the price hike can become significant. One of them is Glatthaar Keller. Apparently, they have found a way to build pre-made basements that are 100% waterproof. And they believe in their skills so much, they actually have constructed a floating house as proof. And it has been floating for the past 10 years. Talk about impressive marketing. However, if you want to check it out yourself, you'll have to get on a plane to Germany. Some good news. Installing a solar tunnel into a roof usually costs only around $1,000. While it is still quite a bit of money, let's look at why it is a good idea nevertheless. For one, the additional light will save energy otherwise needed to brighten the room. Then the extra sunlight might bring some health benefits. Did you know that young children exposed to sunlight outperform their sun-deprived peers in intelligence tests? An American company even goes one step further. During installation, you can mount a small device on the inside of the tunnel that will charge during the day and illuminate the space during the night with what the company poetically describes as a soft glow. But what do you do if a solar tunnel is not enough? And even a skylight is not enough? Architects designing large spaces do struggle with this problem. How do you allow sunlight into a structure made for thousands of people while still protecting them from rain? It's not all glass. Most of the times, it will be some new plastic-like material, like the STFE50. The 50 stands for 50% light transparency, making it an excellent material for the construction of large-scale zoos and botanical gardens, or airports, like this one in Istanbul. For people who are very interested in construction, a trip to the World of Concrete exhibition can feel like a holiday. There was even a competition involving power trowels, and as usual there were some companies who won awards. Among them, the Wafflemat, a curious name for something quite serious, a system to lay the foundation of a building when the ground is problematic. For example, collapsible or rocky. Workers can just place these empty waffle boxes in a grid pattern, place post-tension cables, and then pour the cement over them. When the soil now expands or contracts, the underlying structure can accommodate for that, without damage to the house. Another winner in the category Sustainable Innovation was this crane. And, as you can probably guess from the name, the X-Series mobile fall protection systems are not meant to hold any construction material but the constructors themselves. Any work on elevated objects usually comes with pretty strict safety guidelines according to OSHA. So, instead of mounting traditional safety systems, some companies resort to a crane. The area of work depends on the elevation. The higher up, the closer the construction worker needs to stay to the anchor point. The tallest crane from the bunch, the X-1200, offers support up to 14 meters high, about as high as a 3-story building. Flying drones on a site usually only collect data, which is a big win in itself. But it gets better. With drones becoming safer and more capable, some load-bearing models might show up at construction projects. They give more flexibility and by now can carry a bit of weight. This model from Skybasket carries up to 100 kilograms. Cargo drones are already used for delivery, so the jump to construction is really not that unthinkable. As far as the Skybasket drones are concerned, they are already being used for work on wind turbines, where they carry loads and equipment far higher than regular cranes could reach. If you've ever had the displeasure to live next to a construction site, you will have your own candidate for the most annoying machine. For many people, that machine is a pile driver. Big, loud, and overall horrible, but it can work differently too. The silent piler from Japan, for example, promises to be, well, silent. By gripping the piles that are already in the earth, there is no need for a ton of weight to be dropped on top of a pile to move it into the ground. The force generated by the strong grip of the machine is enough to get the job done. Combined with the fact that it does not take up unnecessary space, it may rid pile drivers of their bad reputation completely. Don't forget to subscribe to Unstoppable Gadgets. And if you want to see some massive cars, click on your screen for the next video.